Today, we're getting into something pretty fundamental, something that challenges how we often think about ourselves. This idea that your personality is just fixed. You know, you meet someone with that incredible energy, they just draw people in, lead discussions, seem so effortlessly connected, and you think, wow, they must have been born that way.
Right, that it's factor, people assume it's innate.
Exactly. But the material we've looked at paints a really different picture, a much more empowering one, actually.
It really does. The core idea is that personality is far more malleable than we assume. It's something you can actively develop, refine, optimize even.
So what we've done today is pull together a pretty comprehensive guide, synthesizing insights into, I think it's 15 specific, actionable ways you can genuinely transform your personality. Think of it like upgrading your personal operating system.
Yeah, and the mission here really is to shift away from seeing personality as just fate, destiny. Even establish frameworks like the Big Five, while they acknowledge certain temperamental leanings.
Sure, baselines.
Baselines, exactly. But the way those traits actually show up, the habits, the beliefs, the specific behaviors people see and interact with those are things that are built, they're constructed over time.
So this journey, these 15 steps we're outlining, it's not about pretending to be someone else, not putting on an act.
Not at all. It's deeper than that. It's about intentionally redesigning and remodeling the foundation of who you are through conscious effort, through habit, through mindset shifts.
Okay, I like that framing deliberate architecture. So let's start laying the bricks. Where does this construction project begin?
Well, like any solid structure, it starts with the inner foundation. You have to get the internal world right first.
Because trying to project confidence or charisma externally won't work if you're crumbling inside.
Precisely. You can't fake a strong core for long. Which brings us straight to point one. Know yourself deeply.
Okay, know thyself. Sounds classic, almost cliche.
It might sound basic, but here's the kicker our sources highlighted. A surprising number of people just don't do it. They operate on autopilot.
Really?
Yeah.
Just reacting based on old programming they've never actually looked at?
Exactly. Ingrained triggers,
Yeah.
unconscious assumptions driving their behavior. They haven't paused to really examine the why behind their feelings or actions.
And we're not talking about just, like, knowing your favorite movie. This is deeper, isn't it?
Much deeper. This is about real self-excavation. Understanding the stories you tell yourself, identifying those hidden fears that might be holding you back, pinpointing what or who consistently drains your energy versus what lights you up.
That level of self-awareness is, as you said, the absolute foundation, the non-negotiable starting point.
It has to be. Because if you try to change behaviors without understanding why you do them in the first place, what core need or fear they serve to change will be superficial. It won't last.
You'll just snap back to default when things get stressful.
Right. And crucially, this deep knowing prevents you from chasing changes based on what you think you should want or what others expect, instead of what genuinely aligns with your own values and fulfillment.
Okay, so how do we practically start that digging process? The sources mention specific tools. They seem simple, but maybe deceptively so.
They are simple in concept, but powerful in practice. We're talking about things like dedicated journaling, consistent meditation, or even just carving out time for silent reflection. No phone, no distractions.
Just sitting with yourself, which can be uncomfortable.
It absolutely can be initially. But these tools create objective distance. Journaling lets you get the swirling thoughts out of your head and onto paper, where you can look at them more rationally.
Like turning internal chaos into data you can analyze.
Exactly. And silence, meditation. They interrupt that constant barrage of external noise and internal chatter, forcing you to actually confront what's really going on inside. These practices help you find your own North Star.
And the goal of these quiet moments, according to the material, is to get real answers to some tough but vital questions.
Yes. Questions like, what genuinely excites me and makes me feel alive? What activities or relationships consistently leave me feeling depleted or stressed? And maybe the big one, what's the single most important thing I want to achieve or change in the next year?
Answering those honestly gives you direction, right? It ensures the effort of changing is pointed towards something meaningful to you.
Precisely. It locks in the motivation. Because transforming aspects of your personality takes real, sustained effort. You need a compelling why to keep going.
Okay, so with that foundation of self-knowledge, hopeful getting stronger, we can move to the next critical piece. Point 2, building self-confidence.
Yes, and right away we need to make a crucial distinction.
Which is?
Confidence versus arrogance. They are miles apart, but often get confused.
Okay, how do the sources define the difference?
Confidence is presented as quiet self-assurance. It's trusting in your own abilities and judgment. It's internal. Arrogance, on the other hand, is loud. It often involves putting others down to feel bigger, and it demands external validation. It's fragile.
So true confidence doesn't need an audience.
Not in the same way. It's a state of being, not a performance. And the method proposed for building this resilient internal confidence is fascinatingly straightforward.
I was really struck by this one. It's about making promises to yourself.
And then this is the critical part, keeping them consistently.
It sounds almost too simple, like, I promise to drink a glass of water when I wake up. How does that build real confidence?
The psychological impact is profound because it builds internal integrity. Think about it.
Yeah.
We often bend over backwards to keep promises to others, bosses, friends, family, but we let ourselves off the hook constantly.
Oh, I'll start tomorrow. Yeah, I know that one.
We all do.
Yeah.
But every single time you make a small promise to yourself, wake up on the first alarm, read one page of a book, avoid hitting snooze, and you follow through, you cast a vote for your own reliability.
Like building evidence for your subconscious. See, I can count on me.
Precisely. It creates this powerful positive feedback loop. The sources gave great examples, like speaking up in a meeting if you usually stay quiet, or sticking with a tiny but challenging new habit, like maybe 5 minutes of exercise daily.
It's not about the huge heroic act then. It's the consistency.
It's the 100% follow-through rate on the promises you make to yourself. The size of the promise is less important than the act of keeping it. You're proving your word to yourself has weight.
And over time, that accumulation of kept promises creates this deep, unshakable sense of self-trust.
Exactly. You stop needing external pats on the head quite so much because you've developed the strongest validation there is, a proven track record with yourself. You know you're dependable.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now let's jump ahead slightly on our list because it feels connected. Point 6 deals with practicing emotional control.
Ah, yes, a crucial one. This is where that internal foundation and confidence really get tested.
Because life happens, right? Stress hits, things go wrong.
Inevitably. And the sources are very clear on this. Your personality isn't just about your baseline state. It's fundamentally defined by how you respond when things get tough.
Not by what happens to you, but what you do with it.
Precisely. External events are often outside your control. Your reaction, however, is internal, and with practice becomes controllable.
So the goal isn't to become some kind of unfeeling robot.
Definitely not. It's not about suppressing emotions, but about mastering the response to them. It's about creating a small, but vital space, a pause, between the stimulus, the frustrating event, the critical comment, and your reaction.
A pause to let reason catch up with emotion.
Exactly. To allow intention to step in before raw, unthinking emotion takes the wheel. The sources specifically highlight mastering those hot emotions: anger, jealousy, frustration.
Because if you let those dictate your words or actions,
Then you're reactive, predictable, and frankly, often less effective. You might say or do things you regret. Mastery of emotion in this context means mastery of self. It means you choose your response rather than being driven by the feeling. You become the calm center, the eye of the storm.
that ability to stay calm under pressure is definitely a hallmark of a strong personality. And it seems to link nicely to the next point, point 7. Develop a positive mindset.
Yes, though again, we need to be careful with the definition here.
Right. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist or pasting on a fake smile.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
The sources frame it as a directional choice. It's about deliberately choosing where you focus your mental energy. Do you dwell on the problem, the setback, the unfairness, or do you actively shift your focus towards solutions, possibilities, lessons learned?
So it acknowledges the reality of the situation, but refuses to get bogged down by it.
Precisely. It's a proactive stance. And this choice, this focus, has huge social implications too.
How so?
Well, think about who you naturally gravitate towards. People are drawn to those who seem to find a way forward, who bring light into dark situations, as one source put it.
Because negativity is draining.
It's incredibly draining. It raises anxiety, it sucks energy from a group. A genuinely positive mindset, one focused on solutions and potential signals, resilience, capability, and hope. It actually reduces the cognitive load for people around you.
So it's like training your brain, almost like a muscle, to hunt for the good, the opportunity, the path forward, even when it's difficult.
That's a perfect analogy. It's a practice. And over time, it transforms you into someone who adds energy rather than depletes it. A net positive influence.
And maintaining that kind of mindset, that focus on solutions and what's working, must make it easier to embrace point 9. Practice gratitude daily.
They are very closely linked, yes. Gratitude is often seen as a soft skill, maybe a minor happiness hack. But the sources treat it as something much more fundamental for personality.
How does it refine personality?
They talk about it creating an inner radiance. A truly thankful heart, one that regularly acknowledges abundance, naturally projects a sense of peace, contentment, and quiet joy.
And that shows up non-verbally?
Absolutely. It can manifest as a more relaxed posture, warmer eye contact, a generally calmer demeanor. It's an internal state change that leaks outwards.
You mentioned earlier how easily we can get caught in wanting more, the hedonic treadmill. How does gratitude combat that specifically?
By deliberately shifting the focus. The hedonic treadmill thrives on perceived lack. If only I had X, then I'd be happy. Gratitude forces you to consciously recognize and appreciate what you already have right now.
So it short circuits the complaining mechanism.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
It actively halts that cycle of comparison and dissatisfaction. By focusing on abundance, even small abundances, you cultivate an internal state of sufficiency. And that internal feeling is the energy that shapes your external personality, making you seem more grounded, stable, and frankly, more pleasant to be around.
Okay, that really rounds out this idea of the inner foundation. We've got self-knowledge, self-trust, through keeping promises, emotional regulation, a positive focus, and now gratitude. That feels solid.
It's the bedrock. Now we can move on to section 2, which is about building on that foundation, the cognitive engine and growth trajectory. This is about actively expanding your capabilities and perspectives.
Right, broadening the mind. Where do we start here?
We kick off with point 4. Expand your knowledge. The premise is simple but powerful. An interesting mind shapes an interesting personality.
People are drawn to those who know things, who can talk about different subjects.
Exactly. Someone who can offer insights, connect ideas, or just share interesting information is naturally more engaging. But the sources emphasize breadth here.
It's not just about becoming an expert in one narrow field.
No, quite the opposite. The reading suggestions were incredibly diverse. Psychology, philosophy, business strategy, history, even, importantly, fiction.
Fiction. Why fiction specifically?
Because literary fiction is like an empathy gym. It forces you to inhabit other perspectives, understand complex motivations, grapple with ambiguity. It builds your understanding of human nature in a way nonfiction often can't.
So each book, each subject you dive into adds another tool to your mental toolkit. New perspectives, new vocabulary.
Precisely. New layers, new ways of seeing the world. The goal isn't just to accumulate facts, but to become a better thinker, a better synthesizer of information.
Yeah.
Someone who can see connections others miss. That makes you inherently more interesting to talk to.
But just knowing a lot isn't enough, is it? That knowledge needs to be paired with something else. Point 13.
Ah, yes, a beautiful counterpoint. Be curious, not judgmental.
I love that framing. Curiosity opens doors, judgment slams them shut.
That's a great way to put it. Judgment is about protecting the ego, categorizing quickly, often dismissively. It stops learning. Curiosity, by its very nature, requires admitting you don't know something. It fuels learning and connection.
And in conversations and relationships, that difference is huge, right? Especially today, when everyone seems quick to judge differing views.
It's critical. A personality characterized by judgment feels prickly, closed off. It creates friction. A curious personality signals openness, humility, and a genuine interest in the other person.
Which makes people feel safe, valued.
Exactly. The sources explicitly link curiosity to humility, calling it one of the most attractive traits. When you approach someone or an idea with genuine curiosity, help me understand why you see it that way. Rather than immediate criticism, you invite connection, not conflict. You prioritize understanding over winning.
So knowledge expands the mind's content. Curiosity expands its openness. What expands the self, the actual lived experience?
That brings us squarely to point 10. Step out of your comfort zone.
The scary one.
Yes, often the most resisted, but also where the real transformation happens. The rule is simple. Growth occurs at the edge of your current capabilities, at the boundary of your fear.
If you just stay where it's safe and familiar.
Your personality stagnates. You don't build resilience. You don't discover hidden strengths. True confidence and capability are forged by facing discomfort, by doing the things that scare you a little.
But there's a risk here too, isn't there? Pushing too hard, burning out, failing spectacularly. How do the sources suggest managing that?
It's crucial that it's calculated and incremental. This isn't about bungee jumping if you're terrified of heights tomorrow. It's about identifying small, manageable steps just outside your current comfort zone.
Like pushing the boundary gently, repeatedly.
Exactly. The goal isn't reckless self-endangerment. It's demonstrating to yourself again and again that you can handle discomfort, that fear is often temporary, and that you are more capable than you thought.
So the examples given were things like maybe agreeing to give a short presentation if public speaking terrifies you.
Yes, or traveling somewhere alone for a weekend, learning a challenging new skill, even just initiating a conversation with a stranger if that feels daunting.
Each small step builds proof.
Each step is like a mini workshop for your personality. Every time you push a limit, even slightly, and survive or even thrive, you expand your sense of what's possible for you. You become objectively bolder, more adaptable, more resilient. Your personality gains depth through lived experience.
Okay, so we've worked on the inside, expanded the mind, pushed the boundaries of experience. Now let's talk about how all this shows up on the outside. Section 3, external projection and integrity. How the world sees you.
And we have to start with the most immediate signal. Point 3, improve your body language.
Right, that statistic is always arresting. Something like 70% or more of communication is nonverbal.
It's huge. Your posture, your gestures, your eye contact, they broadcast information about your confidence, your openness, your emotional state instantly, before you even say a word.
It's like your silent elevator pitch.
Exactly. And the sources emphasize this isn't just about looking confident, it's about a feedback loop. Adopting open, confident postures actually signals back to your own brain.
The power pose idea. Standing tall makes you feel more powerful.
There's science behind it. Things like keeping your shoulders back, your chin level, taking up a bit more space. These don't just look confident. They can actually influence your hormone levels, subtly boosting feelings of confidence.
So what are the key practical things to focus on? Straight posture, yes. What else?
Avoiding nervous fidgeting is a big one. Maintaining steady, comfortable eye contact. Not staring, but not darting away either. Using calm, open hand gestures instead of closed-off ones. Smiling genuinely when appropriate.
Small changes, but they add up to a big difference in perception.
Instantly. You appear more approachable, more credible, and yes, more powerful. It's a high-leverage way to refine how your personality is perceived right off the bat.
Okay, from nonverbal cues to, well, verbal ones aren't next, appearances. Point 12. Dress and present yourself well.
Yes, and let's immediately address the potential misunderstanding here.
This isn't about needing expensive designer clothes or chasing fashion trends.
Absolutely not. The sources are very clear. This is about self-respect and intentionality. It's simply about presenting yourself in a way that shows you care, that you value yourself.
So the basics. Being clean, neat, wearing clothes that fit reasonably well and are appropriate for the situation. Taking care of basic hygiene.
Exactly. It's the difference between looking like you put thought and care into your appearance versus looking like you just rolled out of bed. It's about the attention to detail.
And that attention sends a message.
It sends a powerful silent message. I value myself, I take myself seriously, I respect the situation and the people I'm interacting with. If you present yourself with care, it suggests you apply that same care and standard to other areas of your life. It subtly reinforces the internal work we've discussed.
Okay, makes sense. Now, shifting from appearance to something deeper, the actual bedrock of character. Point 14. Keep promises and build integrity.
This connects back to point 2, keeping promises to yourself but extends it outwards. This is about your word being your bond with others.
And the sources frame this as the absolute currency of trust and respect.
They do, because ultimately, charisma, intelligence, humor, they all crumble if people can't rely on you. Your reputation is built on the consistency between your words and your actions.
If you say you'll do something, you do it. If you commit, you follow through.
That's the core of it. The specific actions cited are often quite mundane, which underlines their importance. Do what you say you will. Be on time consistently. Be dependable in tasks big and small. Respond when people reach out.
Why is simple reliability so powerful?
Because it reduces uncertainty and cognitive load for everyone around you. If people know they can count on you, they don't have to waste mental energy wondering if you'll flake, if they need a backup plan. That reliability is a form of charisma.
So trust earned through consistent action makes your personality inherently more authoritative and respected.
Precisely. No amount of smooth talking can replace fundamental dependability. It's the simplest, yet perhaps hardest way to ensure your personality commands genuine respect.
All right, that covers the external projection and integrity. This brings us to our final section, section 4, which is all about relational dynamics. How does this transform personality, connect, and interact with others?
And we start with a vital skill. Point 5, communicate effectively. But again, with a specific definition.
It's not just about being a good speaker, not about eloquence or volume.
No. The sources define great communicators as those who connect the best. The goal isn't just to transmit information, but to build rapport, foster understanding, and make the other person feel heard.
So connection over mere talking, what does that look like in practice?
Active listening is number 1. Truly focusing on what the other person is saying, asking clarifying questions, reflecting back your understanding, showing you're engaged, not just waiting for your turn to jump in.
And speaking clearly and concisely yourself, presumably.
Yes, but also, crucially, avoiding what the sources call relational pollution.
Relational pollution, what's that?
Primarily, gossip and persistent negativity. Complaining without seeking solutions. Criticizing others behind their backs.
But gossip can feel like such a common way people bond.
It can be a superficial bonding mechanism, yes, but it fundamentally erodes trust. If you gossip with someone, they know you might gossip about them later. It signals untrustworthiness.
So effective communication builds trust by avoiding that negativity.
Exactly. It focuses on clarity, respect, and making the other person feel genuinely valued and understood. When you create that kind of positive, safe interaction, people are naturally drawn to you. Your presence becomes associated with feeling good.
Building on that feeling of connection, we get to point 11. Cultivate empathy. This seems key for adding real depth.
Absolutely key. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, to genuinely try and see the world from their perspective.
And the sources distinguish this from just sympathy, right? It's not just feeling sorry for someone.
Correct. Sympathy is feeling compassion. Empathy is attempting to step into their shoes, to understand their motivations, their fears, their joys from their point of view. It requires more cognitive and emotional effort.
And why is that effort so valuable for personality and connection?
Because it's the foundation of deep trust and likability. When someone feels truly understood by you on an emotional level, the connection becomes much stronger. It allows for better communication, smoother conflict resolution, and just more authentic relationships.
So how do you practice empathy? It sounds difficult.
It is a practice. It involves consciously asking yourself, what might this person be feeling right now? Why might they be acting this way? What pressures are they under? It means challenging your own assumptions and genuinely trying to grasp another's reality.
And doing that consistently adds layers to your own personality, makes you less one-dimensional.
Precisely. It provides nuance, depth, and wisdom. A person who can only see the world through their own lens is inherently limited. Someone who actively cultivates empathy carries the richness of multiple perspectives within them.
Okay, our final point in this section, point 8, feels like a strategic move. Surround yourself with growth-oriented people.
This is about managing your environment, which is a huge, often underestimated influence on your identity and behavior.
Jim Rohn's all saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
That's the essence of it. The people you consistently interact with shape your norms, your expectations, your energy levels, even your definition of what's possible.
And the warning here is pretty stark. Hang out with negative, complaining, or unmotivated people.
And you will inevitably start to mirror that energy. It's social contagion. Their limitations become your perceived limitations. Their negativity becomes your background noise.
So the actionable advice is to be deliberate about your social circle.
Extremely deliberate. Actively seek out and connect with people who inspire you, who challenge you constructively, who are pursuing their own growth, people who lift you up, who model the kind of energy and ambition you aspire to.
Your vibe attracts your tribe, as the saying goes, but you also need to consciously choose your tribe.
Exactly. If you're serious about building a more dynamic, positive, capable personality, you need an environment that supports and reinforces that transformation, not one that subtly sabotages it.
That wraps up the relational dynamics. We've covered the internal work, the cognitive growth, the external projection, and now the connections. Which brings us to the final overarching point, number 15.
Yes. Point 15 is essentially the capstone that holds it all together. Keep evolving.
This reinforces the main theme, doesn't it? That personality isn't a destination you arrive at.
Precisely. It's not a fixed state you achieve and then you're done. It's a dynamic, lifelong process. The moment you think you've figured it all out, that you've arrived, is the moment you start to stagnate or even regress.
That sounds potentially exhausting, though. A lifelong project. How do you sustain that without burning out?
The key, according to the sources, is to focus on small, consistent, daily improvements, marginal gains.
Not giant leaps, but tiny steps forward every day.
Exactly. Transformation doesn't usually happen in one dramatic overhaul. It's the cumulative effect of hundreds, thousands of tiny, intentional choices and actions.
Like what? What are some examples of these small daily improvements?
It could be consciously choosing a kinder response in one specific conversation, reading just 10 pages of an insightful book, practicing that pause before reacting when you feel frustrated, setting one small boundary clearly, meditating for 5 minutes.
These tiny actions, done consistently, build momentum.
They build momentum, they build skill, and perhaps most importantly, they reinforce that internal integrity we talked about way back at point 2. Each small act of discipline strengthens the muscle of intentionality. And slowly, steadily, these micro shifts reshape the macro-level personality.
So just to bring everything together for you, the listener, the big takeaway from this deep dive is that your personality isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you actively build.
You are the architect. Through your mindset, your habits, your choices, your relationships, you are constantly shaping who you are and how you show up in the world. We've covered 15 really potent levers you can pull on, from deep self-awareness
to building rock-solid integrity, mastering your emotions, expanding your mind,
improving how you present yourself non-verbally, communicating connectively, cultivating empathy, choosing your influences. It's a comprehensive toolkit.
So the actionable next step we want to leave you with is deliberately simple. Don't feel overwhelmed by all 15 points.
Please don't. That would be counterproductive.
Instead, pick just one of these 15 areas that resonates most with you right now. Maybe it's practicing daily gratitude. Maybe it's deciding to keep one small promise to yourself tomorrow. Maybe it's focusing on your posture in your next meeting.
Choose one thing and commit to taking real, tangible action on it. Start today or tomorrow morning. Just begin building that track record, that momentum.
And as you start that process, here's the final provocative thought we want to leave you with.
The ultimate transformation, the real prize at the end of this journey. It isn't just about how other people will start to see you differently, although they almost certainly will.
The truly profound shift.
It's how you will start to see yourself differently. That fundamental change in your own self-perception, that growing sense of internal congruence and capability that is the deepest measure of growth and the most lasting reward of undertaking this work.
That change in how you see yourself. That's the real goal. So until the next deep dive, keep building, keep evolving, and keep exploring who you can become.